Hey everyone, this is Rachel with Songbird Crafts, formerly Stamping Songbird. Today I'm just going to color some of the images on this beautiful set called Beach 20's by CC Design. I've already stamped them on Express It blending cardstock. And I'm going to start coloring. These are the images. These two are my favorite. There are 4 images in total, 2 boys, 2 girls, but I only color 3 in this video. I start with EO4 with my favorite boy in the set, just to start putting down where I know I'm gonna want some shadows. Sort of a guide. Then I use my usual set for skin tones. Throughout the video, you'll see E0000, E00, E11, E13, E15, and E18. With this little guy, I mostly use E15 and E13 and E00. After putting down the I think it was 13 or 15, 15, this one's 13. I start to blend that in together with that EO5 where I was marking my shadows. And then I grab the E00 just to try to blend all 3 colors together. He's starting to look pretty good already, but I am going to add a little bit more color using some color pencils. So here I have Prisma Color and KALOUR or color pencils, not sure how to pronounce that. I'm trying to find a perfect brown. So I try out 3 of them and then I settle for one of the browns from the KALOUR or color pencil brand. Not sure how to say that name. Then I go around where I originally had the shadows to deepen that in. Now I could have had that deep from the very beginning, but I rather go little by little so that I don't make too many mistakes. Once I like the deepness of the shadows, I'm going to grab a flesh tone color pencil and just try to soften that out a little bit more. It's not exactly blending, it's just softening it out a little bit more. So I go around all the areas where I added that dark brown color pencil. Here I have Gamsol inside a refillable alcohol pen by Ranger. And it's easy to use to blend because the Gamsol is already inside. Otherwise, I would just use a blending stump, which is also very effective. Here I'm using an Artist brand alcohol marker in a cool gray for his hair, and then I grab a black color pencil to start darkening in some of those areas where you can see the waves of his hair. Once I'm satisfied, I grab the Gamsol again in the pen and then I just start to blend in. I think I add a little bit more of the black pencil later on. Okay, here's that Artist brand again. This is a number 71 cobalt blue. I have 4 different brands of of alcohol markers here. This Artist brand, this green one as well, is a 59. This Artist brand you can find at local stores like Marshall's and TJ Maxx, even Home Goods, and they can run you up to 15 bucks, 9 bucks, 10 bucks, depending on the size, and they're pretty good. I'm also using Ohuhu markers. This is the Honolulu set, which only has tropical colors. I added the red to the Lifesaver and then a little bit of gray to give it a little bit of dimension. If you hear a little voice in the background, that's my grandson. He's here playing with dinosaurs while I'm doing this voiceover. So here I grab my black color pencil again to make some more definition in his little green bathing suit. And then when I'm satisfied with it, I just fussy cut around it. I love the way that the blending looks on this little guy. Okay, so moving on to the little girl, I am going to use E00, E11, E13, and EO4 for her skin tone. I apologize for how fuzzy this looks. I did not realize that it was fuzzy, but it does clear up in a little bit. I'm using the same method, just going around with the darkest color. In this case, EO4 would mark the shadows, except I started with I think 13 first and realized that that wasn't enough, so I went back to EO4. Added some more shadows, blended that in with my E11 and E00. Now there is a fourth image, another little girl in this set, which I did color, but I didn't color on screen. I ended up coloring her after. I had to stop filming after I colored the 3, so I just left the video at the 3. Once I'm done with her skin, I grab that, I think it's 59 green artist alcohol marker for her eyes. I grab a Copic E08 for her hair, and then I use an E18 for the shadowing in her hair. I wanted to make her a redhead, and E08 I find is always the perfect red for a redhead. Okay, let's define that a little bit with the E18. Adding a little bit of shadows underneath her headscarf and in all the waves in her hair. Once I'm satisfied with all of the E18, I'm going to grab the E08 again and just blend out both colors. This way you don't see a stark contrast between the two colors where they start and stop. They just blend together. Okay, I'm going to grab some more of the Ohuhu Honolulu. I grabbed 3 of the blues. There's 2 on screen now, but I grabbed a 3rd one. I start with the mid-tone to do my shadows and then eventually go back and use a darker one. And between the 3 blues, I'm able to create a really good blend. Ohuhu markers are affordable and very high quality, more so than the artist markers that I'm using here. The artist markers I grab whenever I'm like in a pinch and I need a color that maybe I ran out of and I don't have the refill, and they work just fine. Here I'm doing the tip to tip method to try to grab some of the darker blue onto the lighter blue to make a sort of a shadowy but natural looking blend, sort of a gradient, I should say. I don't see it working as well with the Ohuhus as it does with Copics, but it still got the job done. I grabbed the darkest of the 3 blues and I added to her waist into the hems of her outfit or her little bathing suit, and then I blend all 3 colors. I add a little more of that darker blue and then I blend it out with the mid blue. I'm really, really liking this blue on her, especially with her skin tone and her red hair. Redheads always look so good with jewel tones. Yes, I know this is a cartoon stamp, but real redheads look really good with gemstone colors, gem colors. I think she came out really, really cute. I'm gonna fussy cut her out and then move on to my next little character. Okay, so these 2 are done. Adorable. So now I go to the next little boy. Like I said, there's another girl. I colored her off screen and did not add her to the video. With this little guy, I'm going to use all 4 of the alcohol markers that I have. I have Copic, Ohuhu, Honolulu, Artist, and Olo. So here's an Olo red. I bought Olos now that Joanne sadly is going out of business. I was able to get 2 sets, each for $28, which is very good because you basically get 8 markers in a set. So they're dual tip, or on either side you can add a different color and you can mix and match the colors that are in one pen on either side, which is fantastic. So you don't have to dig through for colors that you would normally blend together. Okay, all of that to say, I used red for his bathing suit and then a darker red from Olo to create some contrast and shadowing. And then I'm just going to move on to his hair. So here I'm using Ohuhu markers in yellow reds. Now I use a ton of markers on his hair because I start the hair and I like it and then I don't like it, so I add something else, and then at the end when I add his skin tone, I don't like the way that that yellow looks, so I end up adding a little bit more color to darken it up a little bit. But right now it looks fantastic without the skin tone added. So I grab the first marker and then I just start blending. And then I'm going to add some shadowing to the waves like I did for the others. This time I'm using a colored pencil in a brown. Okay, I'm adding a little bit more because I felt like it looked a little flat. And then I'm just gonna blend that out using the Gamsol inside this alcohol pen. Remember, this pen is empty, so when you buy it, it's meant to put alcohol ink in it, but I just put Gamsol in it. I learned that from Jennifer McGuire. Okay, so I start with my skin tones, with my usuals, E11s, E13s, and it's okay, but at the end, I don't like the contrast between the skin tone and his hair, because his hair is not exactly red, it's not exactly blonde, and I felt like it just kind of clashed or looked too similar in hues or tones. So I end up adding a little more color to his hair. Here I'm using E13 or 15, I think, to add shadowing to his muscular arms. Such a cute little character. Now I'm using E11 to blend out the darker E15. And the blending looks pretty good already. And that's without using color pencils on his body. Again, I apologize if you hear anything in the background. That is my grandbaby. He's only 3. And we've got Jurassic Park playing in the background as well. Okay, so here's where I decide to darken up his hair because I don't like the contrast or the way that the hair looks with the skin. So I add some more brown and then I blend that out some more. So now that it's a little bit darker, I'm liking it a lot more. I don't know, you tell me, does it look better now? Or did it look better when it was a little more yellowish? Okay, so I want this guy to have blue eyes. He doesn't have that extra part of the eye where, that extra line. So I just added a little bit of the light blue there and it worked just fine. Looks great. So as I put him next to the other two, I realized that his shadowing was very subtle. So I put him back on the mat so that I can start giving him a little bit more shadow using a color pencil. Okay, once I'm satisfied with the shadowing, then I'm going to blend that out. And some of you might think, oh my goodness, just added so much color, you know, back and forth between the markers and the pencils. And yeah, maybe if I had planned this out a little bit better, then I would have used less. But I'd rather use a little bit more and get it right than not use enough and then it looks bland, if you know what I mean. The more shadow you give it, and if it's done right, it looks almost dimensional. So here you can see the difference once I start to blend in that brown color pencil. The definition is so much better on his skin. Okay, I got that little guy cut out, and those are the 3 CC Designs Beach 20s. I'm gonna make some cards with these lovely images. I hope you like it. You should check it out. Until next time, happy crafting. If you haven't already, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe.